So I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Jo and a big welcome. Jo is here today to talk about why silence is not golden on social media. And today's live stream has been brought to you from the Social Flock, which is my content support group. I have a membership group which helps busy business professionals create a structure for their social media so that create consistent and compelling social media content. So we do live streams every Monday. We also have a lot of fun. We have loads of training. We have content writing sessions. So if anyone wants a little bit more information about that as well, I will share that in the chat. So I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I'd like to hand you over to the fabulous Jo, who's going to introduce herself.
I will. Thank you, Bex. I know this was supposed to happen late April, so I apologise to anyone who turned up for that. I found myself in Bolton Royal Hospital, where I probably could have done the live, but I wouldn't have been in much of a state. So thank you to everyone who's turned up and been patient. So yeah, I'm Jo Watson. I'm a copywriter, trainer and speaker hired by people who want personality in their project. I'm terrible on lives or anything to do with video. And Bex had to coach me through this before going live. And she said, just look at the camera. I can't because in sight of the camera, I've also got the cats.
Oh, have you?
I can't
the cat's eyes.
I know, so I can't do that. He's going to stare me out. So Bex, I'm just going to keep looking at you, if that's all right. I'm talking to you.
Fine. I'll look at the camera. So, Gary says hello. Hello from a pre-TEDx speaker as well.
Oh, lovely Gary. Lovely Gary, the G-man. Oh, I absolutely love him. I've worked with him for, God, I think we've dragged this out over a couple of years now, haven't we, guys? Just, yeah, we've dragged out our working together. It's so much fun. I'm delighted he's here. So that's really nice.
And we've got another morning from another Facebook user. If you are watching on Facebook, either click the StreamYard link so that it registers your name, or just tell us who you are. I'd imagine that's probably one of my social flockers, as we call ourselves.
Hello, social flocker.
Okay, so we talk a lot, don't we, about social media, and we hear a lot about people really being a bit cautious about posting on social media. And I think particularly LinkedIn can be quite challenging because it's seen as a business platform. Mm-hmm. So what do you suggest to people when they're a bit like, oh, I don't know what to put? How do you start that conversation and encourage them to take that first step?
I think that one of the things that make people cautious and not want to post is because they're hearing so much information and contradicting information from different gurus who will tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And that's massive pressure. And I don't like that. And I think that's never going to get the best out of you for when you do actually share something. So whilst we're talking about the fact that silence is not golden and you should be getting on there, I'm also massively against anyone who actually, they just badger you to show up and be visible. Even when you don't feel like it, make sure you show up. You have to show up. And I think that's hugely pressuring. And honestly, if you don't feel right, or you don't feel good, or you're having a bad day, or you just can't face doing anything, social media should be the last bloody place you're hanging out, because it's not going to make you feel any better, or that's my view of it. So if you're having a bloody bad day and you've got someone in your ear, show up even when you don't feel like it. I just think that's utter crap. I should have asked you before. Can I swear? Can I go stronger than crap?
I don't think we've got any children. If you're under 18, could you just tell us in the chat?
I am sorry, but I feel like I'm not expressing things fully enough unless I drop a few F-bombs. But I hate it because, they're saying, show up even when you don't feel like it, be visible. I'm sick of that. I'm just so sick of those words. It's like, if you want to go on, go on. But this whole, show up and do anything and say anything, just be visible. Well, no, what that means is go on and post something for the sake of posting it. And that means you're not going to do very well with it. And I don't mean, you'll get few likes or comments. I don't care about anything like that. I just don't want anyone looking at anyone's social media content and thinking, what was the point in that? It doesn't tell me anything. I'm not going to use the V word. I'm not going to say it hasn't shared value. None of my posts share value at all. None of them. And it's, but I still do okay out of it. It's about posting something because you feel like you want to. So although, like we said, silence is not golden, and I do think you should be making steps to be present on there. God, don't be bullied into this. You have to show up all the time, every time. No, God, like I said, social media is just the worst place to be if you're not feeling good. So avoid it. You wouldn't go to a party, would you, if you felt like shit? You wouldn't go, I'll go so that people know I'm all right. When I was in A&E, I didn't sit there with a drip in my arm and go, I must show up. Better followers will want to see me. They'll want to. I must show up.
I must show them my drip in my arm and my hospital bed. My hospital gown.
Hospital gown. I'm in hospital. Well, you're not that fucking ill if you can still take a selfie. Simply zero.
Andy's just said, actually, if you're having a bad day, it'll show in what you write. And I think, he's absolutely right, isn't it? Because I think social media is one of the hardest places, because if you are struggling, if you are feeling low, if your business isn't doing as well as you'd hoped, you go on and you look at the news feed and it looks like everybody else is having the best time, is making the most money, is just absolutely thriving. When in actual fact, that's not the case.
Of course,
and social media, it's not a true reflection of how people perform.
No, not in any way. Not in it. I just think if you're making that much money and you're so fully booked and everyone wants a piece of you, how have you got the time to be posting? And also, why are you posting? Because clearly you need some kind of validation. So all these clients you supposedly got and all the dollar they're paying you, clearly it's not enough for you, is it? So I'd be inclined to think it is absolute bollocks and it's just a marketing strategy. It's like, oh, everyone else is working with you, so you have to.
Yeah, and it is a marketing strategy. And it's interesting. If you need a stream of new clients, then it has been proven that being consistent on social media does actually massively support your marketing and massively sort of generate those leads. But there's a difference, isn't there, being consistent or constantly posting? Because you've got to post consistent quality content, but not just constantly post for the sake of it.
Exactly. I mean, if you're the kind of person, if you post and then you don't do anything for 3 months, then you're not going to really see a return on anything. But likewise, you might think, you know what, I'm going to put something out on a Monday and a Friday. That's it. I might have a theme for it. Monday, it'll be a testimonial I share. Friday, I might, write about what I'm going to do over the weekend. If you're doing that, then great. You've got some consistency there without just absolutely bombarding everyone with 8 posts a day saying, look, I'm just buying broccoli. And what business messages did that give me today? Fuck all. Nobody gets business messages from broccoli. Yeah, that's not even the worst one I've seen today.
Unless you're a greengrocer.
Unless you're a greengrocer, you're just in broccoli. It didn't get you thinking about your business. And if it did, there's something wrong with you.
And it's interesting. I always say to my clients, really have a think about when you post on social media, don't overthink it, because I think people procrastinate so much, don't they, on social media? They procrastinate so that nothing goes out because it's just like, oh, well, that's not quite right. That's not quite perfect. So in the social flock, when we run our Mondays content writing sessions, everyone has 40 minutes and they've got to write 3 posts. But it's not, oh, right, okay, I've just had a bacon butty for my morning's snack. I'll pop that on. I had a bacon butty coming into the office. The commute this morning was horrendous. It's not stuff like that, is it? It really is about thinking about, okay, I'm going to put pressure on you so you can't procrastinate.
Yeah.
But what are you going to talk about that's going to add value to people who want to follow you and want to know you?
Yeah, exactly. And I think another pressure that's there is that we've got to be the one writing the post. So I appreciate that, the fact that you've got that 40-minute session, and that will work wonders, because like you said, they can't procrastinate. At the end of that 40 minutes, they've got to have something that if they saw it from someone else, they'd want to read. So, having a bacon butty, I couldn't care less. I'm not, fine if that's, one of the things you throw out amid a load of excellent posts that make me do want to follow you and maybe even buy from you at some point, or certainly recommend you to someone else who needs you. But you've got to think, what do I want to post that I would like to read if someone else had done it? But equally, I want to take that pressure off posting in itself. a great way to be seen and be visible and all that is to get involved with the posts that are already out there. And there's a metric fuck ton of them. It's everywhere. It's got worse since the pandemic and the lockdown, and everyone's pivoted, and especially in my industry where everyone's decided they're a copywriter. And you just think, right, okay, all right, you wrote a post-it note once and somebody laughed at it, so now you're a copywriter. But there's so much stuff out there, it could melt your brain. And I think, well, just get involved with what's happening on there. And admittedly, you might be scrolling for a little while before you find a post that is actually conversation worthy. But I think I'd rather be putting my time into that because, one, you don't have to think of the content. You don't have to start the conversation. And two, it's a great way for you to show that you're not all about yourself. You're not there like, what can I post to show that I'm visible and I'm here? It's showing that you're reading other people's stuff. You're taking an interest. And you think, well, I want to have a conversation about things. That's showing anyone that you might work with that things are very two-way, and you're going to listen to them and you're going to take on board what they think, what they feel, what they're doing. And so showing that you're having those conversations is just equally valid to posting your own stuff, because you'll know yourself. I mean, we're talking about LinkedIn, but it happens with all social media channels. You have, like, it'll say, so the gold man, Andy, is on today watching this. If Andy has a conversation with someone I don't know, it's going to come up on my feed perhaps, and it'll say, Andy replied to this. And I'll think, well, I like Andy. I want to know what he's replied to. And conversations can go from there. And people who aren't connected with you will see things via that system. So your chances are you're going to get someone from a different network joining your circle to see what you're all about. They may even connect or follow you. And so it's just about getting involved with other people's conversations.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one, really, because people always think about social media and they think about the media side. They think about, what can I post? What can I talk about? What can I sell? I need to get this. I've got this event coming up. I've got this. And it's sell. But they forget about the social side. So and true. That is so important, because it's a social network. And if you are connecting and engaging and talking to other companies, other people, that's where the magic happens, really, isn't it? Because that's where the relationships build. Because at the end of the day, people don't buy from businesses. People buy from people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we need to show what we're made of. We need to show our mettle and get involved. And it might be that we get involved to agree and say, oh God, you're absolutely right. That same thing happened to me. And I found that this happened and it went from A to B. And so you're kind of agreeing with them. But likewise, you might stand up and say, well, I think you're wrong there. I'm sorry. Or I think you've missed the point. And people are scared of that. And I know you referenced that at the start of the live, Bex. People are scared of it. But the reason I always say, silence isn't golden. You've got a responsibility as a human being. Forget what product or service you're selling or what you're hoping to recruit to or anything like that. On social media, you do have a responsibility as a human being to be an advocate. And it might be for an advocate for people who don't feel comfortable saying what they want to say. So I constantly get messages where people will say, oh, I'm so glad you said that on that post, because I believe that. And yes, somebody needed to say it. And the thing is, I'll happily throw myself under the bus and reap the consequences of it. I will say, this needs saying. And if I get all hell raining down on me, so be it, because I know I will have expressed a thought or an opinion that other people do have. Because people do share views.
Yeah, and I know you hate the saying, don't you? If you've not got anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
It's such bollocks. It really is. That is not how the world works. It's not. Oh God, you can tell I'm frustrated.
Oh, coming out now.
It's just what I get why people say it. Of course I do. But you tend to find that the people who say it are people who perhaps cannot deal with somebody going against what they've said. Now, if I go against what someone said, I will go in with a reason and I will back up what I'm saying. I won't just go on and say, you're talking bollocks, you're wrong, and then leave. I'm not going to do that. I might want to. A lot of times I do. A lot of times I do just want to go, fuck off, Brian. The name's Brian. All names apply here. I do want to do that, but I don't. One, because I'm a human being and they deserve to have a conversation rather than just being yelled at no matter what they've said. But two, because I'm a copywriter and I need to be able to show that I can use my words articulately every
Yeah.
now and then.
Yeah.
So I do have to give a reason. I do have to back things up on there. And people will often say, oh, if you can't be kind, don't say anything at all. Well, how do we define kind? Because I don't think it's kind if I see someone out there spreading misinformation or spreading something that's inflammatory or something that's just plain wrong factually, because there'll be people that are eating it up, thinking it's true and thinking, well, they've said it, so it must be true, or I admire them, so I must follow them, and that must be the opinion I have as well, and I share. Being kind is not saying anything at all. Being kind is giving that person to have an opportunity to have a conversation with you. They might not like it. They might not agree with it. They might get the tone completely wrong, because that's a huge risk we have to take on social media. What it comes up as in writing may not be how we meant it. But likewise, their post might not have been like that. So you're giving them the opportunity to say, oh, well, I didn't mean that actually, or no, that's not what I meant. It's giving the opportunity for people to see two sides and for people to engage in a conversation rather than just a one way. I'm putting something out here and this is how it is. And I think we need to, I don't know, I'll probably get done for gender pronouns on this probably, but I think we need to man up. Look, I know that's not the most appropriate phrase in the given day, but it is a phrase I would use. I will be true to it. You have to man up and deal with a conversation and deal with saying something that might not be popular or that might help educate people by giving.
Yeah, and help the person that's written it as well. It's about being true to yourself, and I think that's really important in social media. One thing though, I wanted to point out is that it's a very different. People shy away sometimes from social media in case people don't agree with them.
Yes.
And I always get talked about, oh, there's loads of trolls on there, and there's a very different. Trolls are not having your own opinion. We just need to make that clear, don't we? That there's trolling, people who will just say negative things for the sake of negative things and never back you up. Never back up their argument, as it were. But actually having your opinion on social media is actually really, really valuable. And if people are creating that discussion underneath your social media posts, then it's actually a really golden opportunity for you to then carry that discussion on, talk about it. It actually gives your post a massive boost in visibility, the more people that are jumping on and sharing their opinions. So actually that type of content can be extremely valuable for the visibility from a marketing element as well.
Yeah, and it's good for both sides of it, but also we do have that advocacy as well, because there will be people out there who think, hang on, I'm not happy with that post, either because of the way it's come across, or what has been written, how it's been how it's been presented. But there'll be people who are either too, I don't even know what the words, I'm not going to say introverted, but people who just don't feel confident for whatever reason of replying. So I will happily be that person who speaks up and goes, well, no, I think you're wrong. But I will always be that person who says, I think you're wrong because. And no matter how much I just want to say, I will say, I think you're wrong because of this, and I see it from a different point of view. And there are times when that conversation will continue really nicely and it works really well. And there are some times where the original poster will just fly at you. And sometimes they'll delete what you've said. And I think that's a real shit.
Yes.
That happened last
week.
That
happens a lot. Yeah. I've posted, I won't say this person's name, but someone who does Facebook ads, and there's a lot of value in organic Facebook reach. I train on Facebook ads and organic, but we always start with organic reach first. And this person had actually put on that, organic reach is back on Facebook, and I'm like, it actually never disappeared. You just didn't update your strategy, and my post got deleted. I was like, oh, come on. Come on.
It's childish, isn't it? There's so much childish stuff, and I'm not going to say I've never been there myself. I don't know if I've ever deleted anyone's comment, but I have been. I've been really kind of headstrong with things, and someone's come at me on my post and said, well, I don't agree with you because, and you know what? No one likes being disagreed with. So sometimes I imagine when I was very new to it, I will have flown back at them and I'll have been that person that I hate. Now we have to learn, and it's a great exercise for ourselves, because it is that opportunity to market what we're doing. Because remember, especially on LinkedIn, when you're posting something on someone else's, your headline, or certainly the first 50 odd characters of it, they're going to come up. So people are gonna, see, oh, well, who is this person? That's quite interesting. I may not agree with them. I might agree with them. I'm going to click follow. I'm going to click connect. And oh, they're a graphic designer. Well, I actually, might be on the lookout, and I like how this person comes across. So it's your chance to, do your own marketing really on that post. And by that, I don't mean you go on there and go, well, as a copywriter who is hired by people who want personality in their project, I think you're wrong, because that is just blatant self-promotion on someone's post, and that's not right. I would delete someone who'd done that. Like someone went, well, actually, in my book, which is available in all good bookshops now, you can read more about this. I would be hitting the delete button, because that's just crass, isn't it? People just marketing directly what they're doing. They're just selling on your post. It's not on. Are you all right, Bex?
No, I've got the dog going. I'm live on LinkedIn, and I can't take the door at the moment, but the dog's going mad. The doorbell's going mad, and I'm like going, I'm live on LinkedIn.
I just thought, oh my God, what have I said? What have I said? You've just like
I've gone mute. Yeah. The joys of doing a live stream, I did say. So unfortunately, I can't go to the door. Sorry, because I'm live. So you have to, yeah. But so just a second. Carry on talking, Jo. Just a second. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, when I've said it a couple of times about being an advocate, you do have a duty to stand up for people. It might be to stand up for a group, to stand up for an industry, to stand up for a protected characteristic. And my God, we're terrified of doing that, because even when people try and stand up for a group of people, somehow you're going to get it wrong. Not everyone is going to agree, and sometimes, if someone wants to disagree with you, they're going to disagree with you because that's what they want. They're not there to learn or to be enlightened or to take something on board and think, oh, actually they just want to disagree with you, and you're never going to change anyone's mind. And I think if we go onto LinkedIn with that attitude of, I am never going to change someone's mind, but I am going to still be here, I am still going to say what I feel is an important thing to share, or an important thing to say. I got involved in a conversation last week online, and I'm not going to say, oh God, it was because of me that other people kind of started speaking out, but every comment I'd seen on this post was positive, and I'd found something massively wrong with the post that I thought was hugely unfair. So I put a comment on to say, actually, I think you're wrong. I think you've misjudged this. I don't agree with what you've done here. And so then loads of other people got involved saying, well, actually, yeah, I think that. So I would hope that I have been an advocate, a kind of safety net for people to go, well, I'm not going to be the only one who doesn't agree with this here. So I'm happy to do that. But I would ask other people to do it, because if you think something's wrong, other people will think something's wrong. And it's that same idea of when you're in a class and you're learning, and it doesn't matter what age you are, because we all have it, and someone goes, does anyone have any questions? Nobody puts their hand up. But as soon as one person raises their hand, a load of other people will do it.
Yeah.
And a load of people will go, yeah, I wanted to ask that actually, but I felt too self-conscious to do it. And it's the same thing, be willing to throw yourself under the bus if you feel that it's right to do so. Because what was in this post last week, it was so off for me. It really, really was. And I thought, well, I'm going to say something, even though it didn't offend me. I just thought it's off, and someone could read that and be offended. And so I will happily do that. But then you get people going, oh, just because you're offended. And you're like, no, just because I disagree with you, it doesn't make me a troll, like you said.
Exactly.
It doesn't make me offended. Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it's wrong, and here's why. People are so quick to go, oh, you're just offended. Oh, you're a snowflake. Oh, well, fine. If I'm never going to change your mind. But I do think it's best I still put my thought out there so that other people can go, yeah, I thought that. Thank you for standing up for us. So we've got to be advocates. We really do.
And I think that's also, we've had loads of comments. I've just been posting some up, but I think also the thing to remember is, as well as Joel said, that sometimes these posts are deliberately putting stuff up there to encourage a discussion underneath these posts. And actually that shouldn't put people off who are feeling a bit nervous about going on LinkedIn, because these posts that we're talking about are very few and far between, and I always see to my clients who are really quite nervous about posting on social media, I'll just say, look, they'll be like, yeah, but what if someone starts trolling me? And I'm like, I can honestly say, the minute you get a troll, celebrate, because that's when people are standing up and taking notice. That's when people are feeling a bit threatened because you're doing quite well. So always celebrate those trolls, but also, like you say, encourage, if someone does have a difference of opinion, that's life. There's nothing wrong with that, is there at all?
Exactly, yeah, and it is a celebratory thing. I use things to my advantage, and I'm not going to say, Christ, I'm hardened to social media and I don't care what people say about me. I'm not bothered. Of course I am. Of course it stays with me. I carry it through to when I pick my child up from school. I carry it through to when I'm, with my husband at home, because I'm human. And if someone says something really shitty to me or about me, rather than, I don't care about the discussion, I'm just going to go for you as a person rather than what the content's about. And it's a shitbag thing to do. And it will stay with me because, of course, it hurts me. But I just think, well, yeah, at least I've rattled someone. Yeah. At least people are taking notice. At least this person who seemingly can't stand me and hates me, they can't get enough of me, can they? So I like the fact that I have the, that propensity to ruin their day. And I'm fine with it, because if they've tried to ruin mine, I like the fact that I'm ruining theirs too, because they just had to say something horrid about me and I took up that much of their brain space for them to have to do it. So, but I mean, just to add to all this, the whole, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I just think the idea of just scroll on by as well. No, that's utter bollocks as well. Can't just, if you think, God, this is ludicrous, then why are you just putting selfies out all the time that are bloody nothing to do with business? But it's like, here's my cleavage. Oh, and did I tell you that it's my 4-month anniversary in business? Well, okay, that I'll celebrate. I'm not celebrating your tits, love. I don't care. It's clear what you're trying to do, and men do it too as well. Maybe not with the tits, but they'll do it in other ways. And you think, well, no, you're trying to get engagement on something that isn't your post. I will scroll by them. I will eye roll and scroll, as I call it, because I think, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? Especially when I think people are setting women back when it's already so bloody hard on social media anyway. I will scroll if I think, I'm sick of this from you. I'm always seeing it. But if someone said something and I've got an opinion on it, no, I'm not scrolling, because that's just giving that person more of a platform to say, well, it's right. No one's coming against me, so therefore it's right. So if you, again, can be that advocate who goes, no, I do have something to say about this. Don't be put off by people who say, just walk on by. No, so if you saw someone being shoved around, or you saw someone fall in the street, and you thought, well, it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't impact my day, it's not happened to me, I'll just walk on by, you wouldn't. You'd get involved, you'd help, you'd sort, or I hope you would. I know there's a lot around psychology of bystander intervention there, but you'd hope you would step in to a situation that was happening physically in front of you to either defend someone or to smooth the waters. So if you do that in real life, why wouldn't you do it online?
Really good point. And also, if you ever do see some posts that are really, quite inappropriate, don't forget you can always report them as well on any social media platform. Click the little 3 dots on the right hand side, and most platforms you can report those posts, but it's few and far between. So go on then, just to finish off then, Joe, if you were going to post content, because people do struggle about thinking about what to post on social media, if you were going to post, you were only allowed to post sort of one piece of type of content, what would it be?
I love a good old testimonial. I really do. And I don't mean when people say, people always tell me what a wonderful copywriter I am and how do I manage to capture their tone of voice? Well, I do this, that, and the other. No, people don't always ask me that. Anyone who starts with people who always ask me, bollocks. Okay.
Yeah.
When I say post testimonials, I mean, if you've actually got a testimonial for someone, do a screen grab of it. Or do a screen grab of it so people can see it's actually a human being in a certain role from a certain business who has written something nice about you because they've worked with you. I think that's great. Do your own little intro to it saying, it was great working with Carl at this recruitment group. I love this testimonial that I received in my inbox this morning. And people know it's genuine because you've actually referenced the person, the role, and the business. Likewise, you could tag them in. If they're happy to do that, you could tag them in. So whenever I do a sorted in 60, I've got my one-to-ones, I'll say fab sorted in 60 with Joelle Byrne this morning. We covered this, that, and the other. And people know it's genuine because I've bloody tagged the other person. Likewise, if you can't tag them for whatever reason, either they're not comfortable or, for some reason you're not, there might be I always call them a DNR, and it's not, is it? That's a
do not resuscitate.
An NDA.
An NDA, yeah.
An NDA.
Please do resuscitate someone if you see them. Particularly if they've left you a good review.
But no, you might be under a DN, not NDA, sorry. DNA, that's just as bad. You might be under an NDA with someone, so you can't actually mention them. What I would do is I would go through your correspondence, email, text, WhatsApp, screen grab, and just redact anything that identifies them. Anything they've mentioned, the email address, anything where they've mentioned the project name, just redact it and put a post of that up. It might not have been a project that you have completely finished. It might be something you're working on, something you're bidding for, a conversation you're having with another person who you want to help and, or work with or have some kind of collaboration with. Get something up there that proves it's genuine, because they don't get great engagement. I will tell you that now. Those posts don't get great engagement, but it's a great way for you to not have to say a lot because the other person has said it for you. So if you can get posts like that up, that's brilliant. And just add a little something yourself, like really enjoyed this project, looking forward to more one-to-ones in the future, or looking forward to seeing how this website looks when it's all finished. And like I said, you're not going to get a massive amount of engagement, but you will get people still looking at you, still seeing it. There's not really a lot people can say. There's not really a lot they can get.
There's not a lot of engagement that you can get, but absolutely 100% agree with you. If people are saying good things about it, you need to shout about it. The worst thing you can do is, if people say good things, is not shout about it. And also the worst thing you can do is not ask for reviews. You can ask for recommendations on LinkedIn, you can ask for reviews on Facebook, you can ask on, Google My Business and all other Trustpilot, wherever you get your reviews from. Ask.
Always.
People are not going to say no, they just won't write one. But people never think to leave a good review. They always think to leave a bad review. So always do ask. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Jo. And if you are not already connected with Jo on LinkedIn, do connect with Jo. I'm going to put the details in the chat now. Jo also has you're about to publish a 25 questions to ask yourself before publishing your bio, which is going live this week, I believe, isn't it?
It is. So if people want to go onto my LinkedIn, ring the bell. I think that's a thing on LinkedIn.
Ring the bell under the profile.
Ring my bell. And because I will be sharing details of it probably in the next 24 hours or so, but give me the week because anything could happen. But I will be launching a new resource. It's going to be £45 and it's called Boost Your Bio. 25 questions to ask yourself before you hit publish on that profile. And it might be your LinkedIn profile, but it might be a byline. It might be a profile where you've got something in a members directory, or anywhere where you're online and people see who you are. So I've got this little resource that will help you go back through it and think, right, what do I need to change? What do I do? So I'll be launching that this week. So ring the bell so you find out.
Brilliant. And anyone who needs help with social media content and wants to join a supportive group, we've got Barbara here in the background, then please do join the social flock, and Barbara, our mascot, will help you out with social media content ideas, but more importantly, support from other members to create consistent and compelling social media content, and also support you if you ever do get a troll on your social media. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next week at 12:30 for more live social media tips.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jo, for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks
everybody. Bye. Bye.